I'm Narelle.
And I'm Maddie. And today we're going to be talking about global warming
And carbon footprinting. So to start off, what is global warming? Well, it's a gradual increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's surface, oceans, and atmosphere. In the past century, the temperature has risen 0.7 degrees Celsius. That's higher than the average 0.4 degrees. This shows global warming. It's the sun rays coming down to the Earth, and then some of them are going out of the Earth's atmosphere, but then some of them are staying in, and those gases that stay in are called greenhouse gases. And there's more and more greenhouse gases getting trapped in the atmosphere, so that's why the Earth is heating up. The current effects of global warming, there's ice melting worldwide. There's a decline of the Adelie penguins on Antarctica. There used to be 32,000 breeding pairs, but now there's only 11,000 breeding pairs, and that's only happened in 30 years. The sea levels are rising faster. Precipitation has increased. There is more air pollution, as you can see in even like San Francisco, China, places like that. You can see smog. So air pollution is getting bad. There's higher wildlife extinction rates, and plants and animals are migrating to higher altitudes, which is upsetting the ecosystems, how they work together and everything. And then future effects of global warming, storms will become stronger, and we're already kind of seeing that with hurricanes and stuff. And then species that depend on one another may become out of sync, like bees and flowers. And then ecosystems will change. There will be less fresh water available. And an example of that is that if the ice keeps melting, then the people that live in the mountains, and everyone, but their source of fresh water from the ice will become ocean water because it's melting into the oceans, so it won't be drinkable anymore. And then the sea levels will continue to rise. And then carbon dioxide is emitted through natural ways and human ways. The natural ways are decomposition, ocean release, and respiration, and then it's emitted through humans by cement reproduction, deforestation, burning fossil fuels like coal, natural gas, and oil. Since the Industrial Revolution, human sources of CO2 have been growing a lot. 87% of human-produced CO2 comes from burning of fossil fuels, and then 42% of naturally produced CO2 emissions come from ocean atmosphere exchange. And then that leads us to what is a carbon footprint, and it's the amount of carbon dioxide and other carbon compounds emitted due to the consumption of fossil fuels by a particular person, group, etc. So Maddie's going to go more into carbon footprints and our topic on Alaska and Hawaii.
Okay, so to start off, I'm going to talk about ways that we can reduce the amount of global warming and carbon footprinting. Okay, the number one way is reduce fossil fuel use. Burning fossil fuels increases the levels of greenhouse gases that are in the atmosphere. Plant more trees. Plants use carbon dioxide and then release oxygen. So basically, the more plants that we plant, the more carbon that they will take in, and the less carbon will be in our atmosphere. Okay, so number three, reduce, reuse, recycle. Keeping trash out of the landfills reduces one's carbon footprint. So the more that we recycle and reuse things that we can, it will keep our carbon footprint down. Educate others about the environmental concern. Letting others know about the dangers of global warming will motivate them to prevent it. Okay, so the average carbon footprint of a human is 4 tons of CO2, and this is worldwide. In the U.S., the average is 20 tons of CO2 per person. Okay, so now I'm talking about Alaska and Hawaii. So in 2014, Alaska emitted 38,305,318 tons of carbon. 8% of this carbon came from electrical power, 7% came from commercial, 47% came from industrial, 4% came from residential, and 34% came from transportation. In Alaska, they do a lot of oil drilling, or drilling for oil and stuff, and so that's what causes the lead of industrial pollution. And then in Hawaii in 2014, 20,662,066 tons of carbon were emitted. 36 of that was emitted through electrical power, 2% from commercial, 7% from industrial, 1% from residential, and 55% from transportation. And in Hawaii, because so many tourists are going there, a lot of the transportation carbon from transportation is from jet fuels and planes and stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about the top 2 producers of carbon in Alaska. So the top 2 producers in Alaska are the Beluga plant, which emit 1 million tons of CO2 per year, and the second leading is the Nikiski fertilizer plant with 783,675 tons of CO2 per year. And in Hawaii, the top 2 CO2 producers are the Punane Sugar Mill with 5,503 tons of CO2 per year, and the Honolulu International Airport with 2,193 tons of CO2 per year. So now I'm going to tell you about the effects of global warming and carbon on Alaska and Hawaii. So in Alaska, global warming is causing a change in the ecosystems, like earlier breakup of river ice in the spring. And lakes are shrinking by evaporation caused by the warmer temperatures that affect surface waters and wetlands that provide breeding habitats for millions of waterfowl and shorebirds. And climate change leads to more permafrost, which can damage the transportation infrastructure. So basically, permafrost is ice that melts and then refreezes over, so it becomes really slippery. And then in Hawaii, coral reefs are threatened by temperatures and more acidic waters, coral reefs are one of the main tourist attractions in Hawaii. So without the coral reefs, Hawaii could lose their business and stuff. And drinking water quality will drop in Hawaii due to the increased flooding. The more flooding that there is, will bring in dirty waters and pollute the drinking water. And then the diets of the Pacific Islanders will be impacted due to the damage of habitats and migratory patterns of fish, which are 20% of the Hawaiians' diets. And then the sea levels are rising due to the rise of tropical storms in Hawaii. And that is it.